homesteading should be a full-time business because of all of the work that needs to be done. But I work a regular job, and homestead as well. Maybe in the future, in the near future, I'll be able to quit my job and homestead full-time, but I have to find a money-making project for the homestead. We do have the goats, but we don't use them for milk or meat. If anybody wants any goat milk, they are welcome to milk my goats and take the milk. That's one thing about homesteading. We don't homestead to be self-sufficient, for the scriptures say all of our sufficiency is with God. But we homestead to help others, and especially during the coming crisis, we want to be a blessing to our friends and our neighbors. Working on the homestead, it's a lot of work. I'm new to homesteading, and there's always something that needs to be done. So right now we are preparing for winter because winter comes early in this part of the United States. I've got some wood that we've chopped down for the wood stove.
Putting up new fencing around the garden. The goats destroyed the old fencing because it was rabbit wire. And it's good for rabbits, but it's not good for goats. The goats were able to lean on the fence and they were able to bend the fence. And so now I have to put up a thicker, heavier fence to keep the goats from getting into my garden, because once the grass start drying up a little bit, they're going to be looking for green grass, green vegetables and fruits and things. So I got to put up this new fencing around the garden to keep them from getting in. Keep the rabbits, keep the goats from getting in, and to keep the dogs from getting in. My dog's been getting in there too and digging up the ground, digging up my seeds. So we're going to finish this up today. All right. Well, I'm about to sweep out the barn, and I'm in here right now sweeping it out, cleaning it up. As you can see, you look at the ground. And so if you want healthy goats, if you want healthy animals, then you got to make sure that they have a clean environment. Just because they animals don't mean that they have to live in filth. If you want to avoid diseases, sickness in your animals, you have to keep their living quarters clean. And this is a job that I do like every other day or every 3 days consistently. You have to sweep it out. On this side, as you can see, this is where my big boys live. And this whole side, there's hay on the ground from the winter. So I'm going to get in this side this weekend, and I'm going to clean all of this old hay up on this side. But this is where my 3 big boys live at. As you can see, there's a little bit of junky because they tear down everything. They headbutt and they ram into things. You put up things and they knock it down. So it is what it is. They're goats, and you got to let them be what they are. You can't train them to be anything other than a goat. That's how nature made them. So you let them be what they are. It's all good. You follow what I'm saying? You don't want to change them. You don't want to try to make them into human beings. Let them be goats, okay? That's what they were created as. So, again, if you want healthy animals, you got to make sure that you clean out their living quarters. And I do this every other day, sometimes every 3 days. And in the wintertime, I put thick layer of straw down on the ground so that they can have a nice warm underbelly, and it keeps them warm in the wintertime so that they don't freeze in 25 below weather. Again, just because they're animals, they don't have to live in filth. I know the goats are cute and everything, and we love them, but cleaning up and maintaining is a job that many people are not built for, but it's lovely. And you understand? At the end of the day, it's all good. See ya. I got to sweep it up and clean it up.
Yeah, so those clips are from our homestead and the experiences we have and the challenges we face in homesteading. But the main purpose for this video is to talk about the wrong reasons for homesteading or getting into homesteading. So look, this baby here is not feeling well, and I just sprayed some tea tree oil around her, not very much, and dilute it with water. See if I can get the biting flies to stay away. And look, so far so good. You don't see any flies on her. So it might be working. So let's talk about homesteading for the right reasons versus the wrong reasons. In some homesteading circles, you will hear conversations about weather manipulation, human activity influencing rainfall patterns, storms, or droughts. Let's take a look at some scriptures. First, look at Psalms 74, 16 and 17. It says, "The day is thine, the night also is thine. Thou hast prepared the light and the sun. Thou hast set all the borders of the earth. Thou hast made summer and winter." Then turn over to Colossians 1:17, and it says, "And he is before all things, and by him all things consist." Then in Ministry of Healing, page 416, it says, "It is God who causes the sun to rise in the heaven and gives rain." How frequently we hear of earthquakes and tornadoes, of destruction by fire and flood, with great loss of life and property. Apparently, these calamities are capricious outbreaks of disorganized, unregulated forces of nature, wholly beyond the control of man. But in them all, God's purpose may be read. They are among the agencies by which he seeks to arouse men and women to a sense of their danger. Prophets and Kings, page 277. Storms and sunshine still remain out of human control. That's part of creation's design. A wrong reason for getting into homesteading would be a fear of the weather being controlled. But a right reason would for homesteading would be to build healthy soil and help the community build healthy soil. Plant resilient crops and help the community plant resilient crops. Learn to adapt to natural cycles and teach your community how to adapt to natural cycles. Homesteading works best when it's driven by love, not fear. If you are new to homesteading, ask yourself, what's my reason?